Bless you. God bless your families. I appreciate you for being here. We have with us again Lieutenant Fireman Mark Taylor, retired. He's not back in action yet. They haven't called you back yet, Mark. And prophetic voice, Mr. Mark Taylor. How you doing? God bless you, man.
Thank you for having me, brother. It's always good to be on ATKN.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad they haven't called you back in the service yet for the replacements of DII or at least training. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, a lot going on. A lot going on.
yeah.
Still, a lot of actually some breaking news. Let's go ahead and break it because I want to. I mean,
Let's break it.
let's go ahead and get some breaking news going on here, guys. We had a incident just recently. A couple, I'd
Just a
say,
little while ago.
yeah, about 30 minutes ago. In the Oval Office, someone collapsed while doing a presentation. In the Oval Office, and Mark, I want to get your take on it. What do you think it's like? It means prophetically, and I want to go ahead and share my screen with you, or share my screen with you guys, and let's go ahead and get that up, and it's going to be right here. I don't know why it's so far down. Here we go.
But today we. Oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah.
We're going to break away for just a moment as the White House addresses what appears to be a health emergency in the Oval Office. Our prayers go out to that man,
Brother,
and we will
honestly, I pray
certainly
that this
keep you
man did not
updated and head
have
back to the White House.
the vax. But if it comes out that he in fact did, which I don't think they'd admit it in a million years anyway, even if they did, this is not a good prophetic sign for the president. This happened in the Oval Office. Again, how much stuff is happening in the Oval Office? He lit the candle in the Oval Office. Now we're seeing this taking place in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
All of these things, guys. Look, I'm not saying he had the vax. I don't know this man. Pray for him. We pray that he's okay. But the point is, this is not a good sign for the president. I have been warning and warning and screaming from the rooftops about this with President Trump. Nobody's listening, but everybody wants to attack the messenger when it comes to this. This is a sign to the president because what they were talking about there was big pharma, a deal bringing the prices down, and it's big pharma. I don't think there's any dealing with big pharma. I think this is a prime example right here. That's just me, my own opinion. But again, you just can't rip people off of pharmaceuticals. You just can't do it. And so I know that there's going to be a gradual weaning down of the pharmaceutical companies if they're going to get rid of some of this stuff at some point. But prophetically, this is not good, guys.
Mm-mm.
This literally is not good, Jay, because again, if he's had the shot, this is what I have been warning about. This happened in front of the president. What is happening here? It's getting closer and closer. Now it's within arm's reach of the president, where he is
Right.
seeing it himself. If he had the vax, I'm not saying he did. If he did, I don't believe they're going to admit it in a million years if he did have the vax, because they know that this is going to point a finger at the president.
So, what I got while you were talking and even began speaking, and watching that, and it reminded me of back when, like you said, what they're allowing into the White House
Right.
goes out to the rest of the nation and is a sign for the rest of the nation. Well, like you said, what has he been doing in the Oval Office? What did he allow into the Oval Office? And now it's taking casualties.
Yeah.
It's
Either
taking
way, whether it was the vax or whether it was the lighting of the candle or these things that are the Halloween celebration into the White House, it's whatever he's letting into the White House, like you said, is creating casualties at this point.
Yep.
It's all the above.
Yep. And so I
If it
think that's
wasn't the vax, then it's spiritual. Even though the vax is spiritual, don't get me wrong.
right.
If it had nothing to do with the vax, because we don't know this man, and we don't want to accuse someone of taking a vax that didn't take it. But if he has taken the vax, this is really bad for the president. Either way, it's bad for the president. It's a bad look.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. Okay. So I did want to get your take on that, and
And it doesn't. I want people to understand something. It does not bring me pleasure to even have to play this, Jay, and even have to interpret this for people. It really doesn't. It saddens me that we even have to be here doing this. It shouldn't even be happening, honestly. If the man had the right people around him to stop this spiritual infiltration that's taking place right now, none of this would be going on. God, once again, is trying to get this man's attention.
it's true. That's true. And while we're on the subject of Trump and his administration, and there's something that you shared with me, which is a video about Trump saying that Christianity is facing a existential threat in Nigeria.
Yep.
Before we get into that video, Marker, if you wanted to get in that video, I wanted to get your thoughts on that. And I do also know that Paula White shared this same video.
Right.
So I'd like to know what you think about it, and then I'll share with the audience the video that we're talking about.
Well, I think before I can really comment, can we play the video first, bud, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Because that way they got the context.
Okay, that sounds good. I
Yep.
just wanted to see if you had anything on it first.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get this played. I just had it up. Why did it? There it is. Sorry.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. That's a legal definition. When the Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. What horrible numbers. Something has to be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. It's not only Nigeria, it's all over. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is not going to happen. The killing of Christians is not going to happen.
Okay, thoughts and comments, Mark?
Okay, so this is where I agree with the president 100% right here. He's protecting Christians, and it needs to be done. Now, here's the other side of that coin. Why are we not getting rid of the Islamatization of America right now? Because this is fixing to happen here. It's already happening here. You're just not hearing about it, guys. I go back to that 99.9% of what happens on the street, you're not hearing about. You're only hearing about 1.1% of what happens out there in the headlines. So again, why are we not getting rid of the illegals? Why are we not getting rid of the Islamatization? I understand wanting to protect the Christians. I get that, because some of these Christians cannot protect themselves in some of these other countries. They've been disarmed. You've got the radical Muslim terrorist groups over there that are taking them out like this. Those are the true Christians, Jay, in my opinion, are the ones that are being attacked. They are the ones that are truly for the gospel, that they're being killed off for the gospel of Jesus Christ. What you're seeing in America and what's happening in Nigeria are two totally different things. The Lance Wallnau and Hank Kuhneman, all this bunch, they want to say that the American church is being attacked. It's under attack by the enemy. No, it's not. The American church doesn't know what it's like really to be attacked. Ask the Nigerian Christians what it's like to be attacked. That's an attack right there from the enemy. What you're seeing happening in America is judgment on the system. Two totally different things.
Listing your house on the market isn't the only way to sell your house. Selling to us is much faster.
People like Lance Wallnau and fake Kuhneman, they're the ones that are under judgment. Their ministries are under judgment because they're part of the Babylonian Baal system. Two totally different things. And Christians want to say, oh, it's the devil that's attacking us. No, it's not. God's hand of protection is off the system right now, and you're being hammered. That's not the case in Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have that, from my understanding. They don't have this kind of things over there right now, that kind of a system. These are actual gospel-spreading Christians that are taking a hit for the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's the difference.
Right. Man, I had something I want to ask you, and it left me. And hopefully it'll come back. But man, it was really good too. It was on the subject, but
again, you have people who are being slaughtered worldwide for the gospel of Jesus Christ right now, and this is why you cannot afford to assimilate, or this so-called assimilation with the Islam. We have entire cities that's being taken over by Islam. Police departments, city councils, they are ruling entire cities right now on American soil. What is I'm saying there is a difference between the killing of them and then also being in charge, because the problem is this: once they take charge, that will start happening on American soil. It's already happening. Again, you're only hearing 99 or 99.9% of what's out there. You're not hearing about. It's the 0.1%. Go ahead.
So my thought came back to me, and it's regarding the illegals in the United States. Now, I recently saw, and I don't think this portion was brought up on your interview with Michelle. I recently just watched Redacted News, and they had a guy on there who is part of ICE, and he said that even though ICE is recruiting and continuously recruiting for going out and going to get these individuals, they still have to go into training, and this training apparently. So what the guy told Redacted is that the training lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 months for just to get them on the ground.
That's the academy.
To get the basics going.
Yeah, that's the academy.
And so what they're having to do is they're having to bring these retirees in.
Yep.
And the thing about it is that these guys are retired, but they need them for training to train people faster, maybe quicker, or anything like that. But at the same time, they're also trying to call them back onto the field.
Right.
And, just like you were saying with the whole fire department thing, I feel like that's going to be more and more prevalent with all sectors of public service, or
military, law enforcement, fire service,
any type of service that's going to be needed for basic for basic national security.
Right.
And
okay,
go ahead.
So J.J. Carroll on that interview with we showed on Michelle's show the other day. It takes 3 years, and that's true for military, fire service, or law enforcement. When you go through the academy, it could be anywhere from, if you go through day class, it'd be like 8 weeks. If you go through night class, it could be 3 months. And it just depends. And so, but even then, that's why they call them minimum standards. That's the minimum by which you are certified to even ride on a truck, let's say, or carry a gun in a police car, or whatever the case may be. It takes 3 years, J.J. Carroll said, to get someone up and running with experience in order to know what they're doing. That is true with military, fire service, law enforcement. That's true with any of these public services right there. It takes 3 years to get someone. By that time, Trump's out of office. Right. So we have all these illegals in here, and a lot of these Muslims are illegal. You and I both know it. It was by design that Obama started with Obama, letting these people in here, the Islamization of America. And so Trump has to put a stop to it. Now, my question is this: will he put a stop to that? Or because there's a 50-50 shot he will, and there's a 50-50 shot he won't. And the reason I say this is, why will he put a stop to this Islamization, or is it going to affect his peace process deal if he starts kicking these people out? That's my only concern with the president right now, because he's put so much emphasis on the Nobel Peace Prize and the Middle East peace process. Is he going to take control of this? Because it's out of control. Islam is exploding in America. When I say exploding, people, unless you've done your research, you have no clue how this stuff is exploding right now. It's growing fast. I think it's the fastest growing religion in America right now at this point. And so at some point, it's got to stop. He has got to get these people out of here, and it's got to be done. The problem, like J.J. Carroll was saying, is that ICE cannot do it. It's out of their hands. They've only got 6,000 ICE agents, I think, nationwide, and most of those are attorneys. So the arresting officers are not even the ones that are I don't even know how many arresting officers they actually have. So now it's being handed over to the Border Patrol, because to give you an instance, if they pull over a van full of 11 illegals, ICE walks up, he said, because he had these guys work underneath him, and he says, ICE would walk up with a case file. They'd only arrest that one guy and let the other ones go because they didn't have a case file for it. That's the red tape involved. Whereas Border Patrol comes in and say, everybody get their hands up. All of you guys are going out of here now. That's the difference. And he said that ICE is basically the reason ICE, I remember I kind of alluded to this a couple of times, that these guys are being way too pansy with these illegals. When they should be busting heads on these riots, busting heads on these guys and setting the example. He said basically the same thing. He said, Border Patrol doesn't play any games. He said, these guys with the ICE, they need to stop being a bunch of girls. And so you're seeing a lot of this stuff take place.
Well, I mean, they're saying though that they weren't playing any games, but at the same time, they still had to follow.
I've seen the videos.
They still had to follow the instructions of Biden, just catch and release.
Right. So
they did.
But see, here's the other issue is that the Trump administration now, because they don't have the manpower, and he even said that he doesn't know how this plan got placed under Trump, but Trump even knows this plan is not working, getting the illegals out of here. And they're going to have to come up with the Border Patrol. And even J.J. Carroll says it's going to take military intervention to set up a perimeter, protect these guys so they can go in and scoop them up, even for the Border Patrol, and get them out of here. But they're pulling guys off the border. They had like 21,000 officers at one point. They had a mass exodus under Biden. They're down to below 15,000. So even they're undermanned right now. And they're calling back the retirees like himself. But he said the problem is the Trump administration is not answering the phone. They've put their paperwork in 3 months ago and they're waiting to get in and nothing. So when you go listen to that interview, it makes your blood boil. Right. It's like we're almost 1 year into Trump's presidency. And they said we've gotten 2 million out of here. Here's the other thing. They said we've gotten almost 2 million out of here. No, we haven't. Let's be real here. Let's deal with the facts. 1.5 million self-deported. That's not getting them out of here. They left on their own accord.
Right.
So they are claiming we've gotten 500,000 out of here. J.J. Carroll is saying actually the real numbers is somewhere between that and 150,000. He said what the truth is, we don't know because they can't keep track of it. So let's just say conservatively, we've gotten 500,000 out of here. We're almost a year into this, Jay. How long is it going to take? And he even confirmed what I have been saying. I said the real number is 50 million illegals. He even said it. We have 50 million illegals in this country. Mm-hmm. How long is it going to take to get these guys out of here? We are losing innocent men, women, and kids every day between the truck drivers on the roads, which God had warned about the semis, between the overdoses, between the rapes, the murders, all these different things that's taking place. Again, you're only hearing 0.1% of what's happening out there, guys. Remember that. Yeah. So this is where I've been warning people that the patriots are going to get tired of this and they're going to take matters into their own hands and they're going to say, Mr. President, you had your chance. Now it's ours. And that's what I don't want to see. But it's quickly coming to this. So he's got to do something fast, Jay.
It's true. That's true. And, man, it's just a lot going on, Mark. Yeah, I wish there's
a lot going on.
I wish we could see some real results here where we live right now. And in the times we're living right now.
Right.
Because all we see is
death and destruction. I hate to say it, but look.
Hey guys, come here. I want to show you something. This is what will keep you alive in the next crisis.
I understand that part of the president's job is to remain positive, and my job is to remain positive, but it's also to call out stuff that's not right. Yeah. That's what we're watchmen on the wall for, right? And so God knows all things. He's an all-knowing, all-seeing God. And when you see an administration that's not relying on that, that's where it gets frustrating. So he's to remain positive, and he paints a positive picture. Yes, are we going to get through this? Yes, we will get through this, but there's going to be some dark times before we do. And our job, mine and Jay's, as watchmen on the wall, is to help you get through this, to keep your head on a swivel, stay armed, spiritually and physically, wherever you go right now, because this is going to get messy before it gets better.
So
and
while we're
trying to help you get through the mess.
While we're on the subject, let's bring up another fight on that frontier where even if Trump is going after the illegals, the states are pushing back, the corrupt judges are pushing back. Right. And so I'm going to go ahead and play this video that you shared with me, Mark, about Trump is pleading, trying to get these things going and moving, but we've got these liberal judges standing in the way. So let me go ahead and play that for you and our audience, and I want to get your take on that as well. I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory. Let's go ahead.
Well, the president is all about results, as is Secretary Noem. And really, what President Trump, Secretary Noem, and our law enforcement have been able to do in the past 270 days, despite the injunctions, despite the obstruction from sanctuary city politicians and these activist judges, is really nothing short of extraordinary. 2 million illegal aliens exiting the country. That includes 1.6 million deportations and over 500,000 deportations from our ICE and CBP officers. But we're going to be really surging resources. We have 10,000 new ICE enforcement officers that are going to be hired in the coming days. So we know that we're going to continue to arrest the worst of the worst off of the streets of America's sanctuary cities and across the nation.
10,000 ain't enough, Mark.
No. And again, it takes 3 years to get these guys up and running. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
And not all of these guys are going to be arresting officers, according to J.J. Carroll. When you listen to how these guys are cut up into subsections, a lot of these guys are attorneys. So again, even J.J. Carroll, even the Trump administration is admitting that this plan is not working. Do you see how she painted the picture? We've deported 1.6 million. We've deported another 500,000 to ICE. No, 1.6 million self-deported.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do the numbers, we only got, let's just be conservative, say, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You got rid of 500,000. We got 3 years left, Jay. Do the math. We haven't even scratched the surface, brother, of what's coming, of what's happening here. So we need a massive intervention, whether it's declare the Insurrection Act, deploy the military, get them out of here. That's the only way this is going to work. And the problem is we're going to lose a lot of innocence until we get to that point, because obviously he's not about to pull the trigger anytime soon. It doesn't sound like, because when we'll get into some of this, with the military, again, he could. No. He just may not. He's not going to project it.
There's a lot of people on alternative media calling for the Insurrection Act to be enacted, but for some reason it's just not. It's not enough.
Falling on deaf ears.
It's not enough, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell you where the source came from, because I don't want to bash him or anything like that. But basically, let's just say people who are following Q, and I'll just leave it at that. I keep hearing these alternative voices say, "Well, we haven't reached that point of enough pain yet."
Yeah,
and I'm like, really? How much pain?
How many innocent lives do we have to lose?
How many people are you willing to sacrifice?
That's right.
To get people to wake up.
That's right.
It's like, are you any better at this point than the ones who are actually meaning to destroy our lives?
Yeah.
And you have to let's ask that real question. And I'm sorry for you guys who are just gonna go all ham in the comments. Just don't bother, because you're not going to reach the Q sympathy here when we are taking on as much casualties as... I understand that it could have been worse, all right? I understand that God's hand is in this to rescue us, and I understand that there may be a plan to get these things exposed. But for the sake of the plan, you're still letting people die. And it's still not right. Two wrongs don't make a right, period. And allowing us to continue through this suffering... The people, like Mark and I have already said, the people who are awake are going to be awake. Stop already. Stop.
Right.
You're shedding innocent blood, and it's going to be on your hands if you allow it to. If you're not issuing warnings, instead of just saying, "Oh, let's eat our popcorn," then you are part of the problem. So,
look, I said this once before. I'm going to say it again, Jay. I see two points coming together here on a collision path. Two things coming to a collision path. I see what we have with the illegals, or it's because you got to remember the illegal is multifaceted. You have the illegals that the patriots are tired of, that are killing people, and then you have the Islamatization that's going on, which is going to lead to a holy war. This could lead to civil conflict on many different levels, through many different things. We're sitting on a powder keg right now, right? I see that one point right here. And then I see the point right here where we're fixing to, at some point, we're going to hit the pinnacle of the death curve with the vaccines.
Right.
And I see these two, they're going to collide. If he does not act, pull the Insurrection Act and clean these people out of here before we get to the death curve, he's in trouble. He's in trouble anyway. I can just tell you that right now. I'm not saying he's when I say he's in trouble, I'm not saying they're going to get him for crimes against humanity. They're just going to point the finger at him. I'm not saying that he's going to go to jail or prison or anything like that. What I'm saying is he's going to take a hit from his own party. He's already losing in the polls with his own party. I read that from the polls on Michelle's show the other night.
Yeah.
He's already taking a hit. And
here too.
He's taking a hit from his own party, and I've said that his own party is going to turn on him if he doesn't change course, and that's already happening. But if he doesn't act and do this before the pinnacle of the death curve, brother, and the pinnacle of the death curve hits first, he is going to be in trouble at that point, because then it's going to really make him look bad.
Right.
So he has to act before we hit the pinnacle of that death curve with the vaccine, because again, I think even his own people know he's in trouble when it comes to that. And this prophetic sign that was given today in the Oval Office tells me that the timing, this to me is a prophetic marker in time that this has now reached the president. It's coming to him.
It's getting closer.
It's literally within arm's reach.
It is. Yeah.
Because it happened right in front of him.
Yep. Well, I mean, he doesn't make it hard. He doesn't make it hard. Matter of fact, let me just pull this up. Doesn't make it hard for you to see that, to me, he's listening to the wrong people. And it's not us on the ground that he's listening to, because we would be able to tell him the real prices of what's going on.
Yeah.
But he sent this out this morning. I don't know if you guys have seen the prices of turkey lately, but they're not down. Prices of meat aren't down. You're here. Let me just read this. 2025 Thanksgiving dinner under the Trump administration, under Trump, is 25% lower than in 2024. That's not true. Thanksgiving dinner under Biden, according to Walmart.
Now we're listening to Walmart.
Exactly. That's his sources, according to Walmart. This is like saying, according to Pfizer, everything is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
My costs are lower than Democrats on everything. Now, this says, according to Walmart, my costs are lower than Democrats on everything, especially oil and gas. Not in my neck of the woods.
Not in my neck of the woods.
So, the Democrats' affordability issue is dead. Stop lying. It's not the Democrats. I am not a Democrat. Are you a Democrat?
Well, I'm not a Democrat.
All people dealing with gum issues, tooth decay, or other dental problems need to check this out. Do this spice hack before bed to rebuild your gums and teeth. And never spend a fortune on...
And I'm not lying.
I'm not lying.
I mean, I can drive around and start taking pictures of fuel prices here in Florida and food prices. Furthermore, just because Walmart runs a sale on turkeys doesn't mean it's 25% lower.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. But yeah, here we go again, Mark, and we keep seeing this.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is coming to the Oval Office. Let's listen to Bill Gates, according to him. I mean, he came down from heaven, right?
Listen, Eli Lilly was giving a statement, and that man collapses right there. And he's listening to Eli Lilly. So, what
else are the signs? What other signs do we need?
I don't know. And I know I'm going to get some nasty comments, some nasty emails, and this, that, and the other. But it's like, guys, we cannot stick our head in the sand, Jay.
We can't keep.
We have to keep. We got to war.
We got to see change. We got to see change.
You have to see change.
We have to see real change, and the only way you do that is not by sitting around being silent. You still take everything to prayer, but if the people don't know what to pray about, which is what you're learning from this broadcast.
Yes, everything we're giving you are war points.
That's it. It's not, hey, Trump, you stink. You're doing this, you're doing that. No, how about we pray that Trump listens to the right people?
Yes.
Bring good Americans that actually care about their country into the Oval Office to give them real advice.
Right.
Let's pray for that. Because
let's don't give the president stats just to feed his ego.
That too. And
because that's what they're doing.
Walmart is feeding him disinformation. Are you the people going to continue to defend the disinformation? We're not telling you to defend Trump, defend Trump or not defend Trump. Defend the truth. Defend the truth. That's all you got to do. The truth will literally get to his ear if enough people speak it. That's the point.
Right. It takes us as a collective body, because again, if he's working for we the people like he says he is, he's not listening to us.
Yeah.
He really isn't. You know, so I told people the other day on Michelle's show to call the White House, email the White House. And somebody put in the chat, I don't know how true this is, I haven't verified it, but somebody put in the chat, they just tried to call the White House. They said the phone lines are down because the government's shut.
Shut down, yeah.
I'm like, time out. If the government shut down, that's a democratic Democrat ploy. What does that have to do with Republicans answering the phone? Anybody ever thought of that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody try calling the White House. See if it goes through.
I don't know.
I don't know,
but
you call the White House. You need to make your voice known on social media, emails.
Make your voice known where you have it. If you got a voice somewhere,
your voice known.
If you got a voice somewhere, you got to speak it, and that's the reason why we're on here talking about it. I mean,
look, again, I want to see Trump succeed, because if he succeeds, America succeeds. I want to see his agenda come to pass. I know, because I'm the one that helped prophesy his agenda. Literally, his entire agenda was prophesied before he ever came into office in his first term. It's something right here in this book, in my prophetic word book right here. So it just, again, I want to see him succeed. The problem is, we're pointing out stuff, and then people are attacking me for pointing it out. And it's like, there was the manifestation of it right there in his own office today, Jay. Literally, all of these things are stacking up on one another here. And that's what I don't want to see. That's what we're trying to avoid, but nobody on the other side is listening. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
bro. And speaking of picking, how about John Solomon's thing there right there? We got that? Can we bring that up?
Yeah.
Let's talk about something here. Let's talk about who he chose for Attorney General here.
Okay. Bring this
and let's
up.
Listen to what John Solomon has to say.
Bring this up to you, Mark, and it's right here. Oops. There we go.
Attorney General is. She did it. And yesterday, to give you a sense of where our Attorney General is, she did an Epstein Documents 2.0 on all of us. She did it. She put out this tweet, got a lot of traffic, great Fox News story. Oh my God, guess what I discovered? I discovered that Joe Biden gave up Donald Trump's phone and Mike Pence's phone to Jack Smith. That's great, Madam Attorney General, except that story came out in April. She wasn't even aware that wasn't a new development, but an old development that had been discussed by Senators Grassley and Johnson for months. If you want to fix the perp walk problem, if you want to fix the opportunity to bring accountability, Kash Patel has the evidence. The prosecutors, with the exception of Halligan, are lagging far behind the evidence, and that sand clock is ticking down not only on statute of limitations, but on the time that occurs in between elections. 26 elections already underway. We're missing really valuable time to educate the public. The American people are missing valuable time. I don't think DOJ is getting there. When you see that there was a 6-month delay in this document, when you see the Attorney General presenting something new that is old, she's so far behind the facts. I'm really worried that Donald Trump doesn't have the team that can bring accountability to the Justice Department. That's just my reporting. And by the way, that's what many Justice Department and members of Congress have been saying to me privately over the last 4 weeks.
Wow.
Okay, did you hear what he just said?
Yeah. Yep.
What have we been screaming about for months? He doesn't have the team to bring accountability.
That's right.
And so when John Solomon starts on your case, you're in trouble. And so now he's calling out Pam Bondi for doing an Epstein 2.0, calling out stuff that was back in April, like it's today's news, and it's not. These guys are so far out of touch right now, it's not even funny. Look, we've been calling out Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and, Dan Bongino and these guys. Again, people are frustrated. They're hurt. I have comments on here where people say they feel betrayed because the president has not been America first. It's been all of this other things. They call it MEGA, M-E-G-A, make everything else great again instead of MAGA. And so, again, what is going on with this administration? And people say, well, Mark, this is where I get aggravated with people. People say, well, Mark, he's doing a psyop right now. He's throwing people out in the limelight to expose them. Jay, do we have time for these games right now?
No.
When you see everything that we're covering here on this show right now tells you we don't have time for this, because we're sitting on a powder keg right now, and he's playing, if he is playing a psyop, or unless he is truly being deceived by these people and just doesn't know any better, which I find hard to believe. But again, and he's defending him in one aspect and saying, because she'll do something, he'll call her out twice. He's called her out publicly, twice now. Publicly, he's called her out, and then he comes right back and defends her. And it's like, what is this? What is this? Why not? If someone, I don't agree with playing these psyops like this. If he is throwing them in the spotlight, come out with the evidence, prosecute them, throw them in prison. Let's get somebody in here who can help straighten out America, because we don't have time for this, Jay. When you listen to J.J. Carroll's interview, this illegal situation is worse than anyone could ever possibly imagine, and we're busy playing psyops. I don't even want to hear that excuse right now.
Well,
I really don't.
Why would you play even today? Why would you play a psyops to deem Walmart corrupted? We already know Walmart's corruptible. Like what was the need for that? What is the need for that? To say that you're getting reports from Walmart that your prices are down, so we're gonna blame Walmart?
Well, they're probably Chinese turkeys.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's just like,
who knows?
These psyops. It's so meticulous, and it's so, I don't know. It's not worth it.
People are tired of the games. That's been my point all along. This has been a long war, and so this has been a long war, and people are tired.
This has been longer than
people can't put food on the table. Jay,
this has been longer than the Iraqi War, hadn't it? By now, how long was the Iraqi War with George Bush?
Afghan War. That was like 20 plus years.
What was that? Desert Storm? Can't remember.
It was 20 plus years with 2009-11. But I mean, look,
we're halfway there.
But people,
I almost burned my old shoes. That's how sick I was of the pain. Foot pain, knee pain, back pain.
People can't afford to put food on the table or gas in the tank, and you're going to tell them that Thanksgiving dinner's down 25%, or people look at this like, okay, if I can't tangibly feel this or see it, then it doesn't exist.
Right.
And when you put something like that, it makes you look like you're living in a fantasy world almost. And it's like at some point, whoever's feeding him this information, like J.J. Carroll said, whoever fed him that illegal immigration plan with ICE, he said, I don't know who did it, but he said, they knew this wasn't going to work. So again,
that same narrative keeps coming up.
It's who he's listening to.
That same narrative. It's everything that you've ever said since he came into office, and even before then. It's all about the king's ear, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about no real truth teller, no true prophet. And also, what is a prophet? A prophet is just someone also is going to tell you the truth about the real matters of what's going on. It's not just necessarily the prophetic man or woman that God has called you into guide the president spiritually, who will clean up America eventually, but it's also about the true prophets who are willing to speak actual truth and maybe say, Mr. President, you were telling the American people one thing, but what's going on isn't on the ground, isn't the truth.
Right.
And prophecy is twofold. It's the office of the prophet and someone who's willing to speak the truth all the time, no matter what, uncorruptible.
Yeah.
And so, no true prophet of the living God. So your prophecies are just coming to pass right there alone is no true prophet. No one who is around the president right now is feeding him truth. And then his family is even being quiet, because I remember, I don't know who brought this up, but his family used to always be talking about Epstein list. Yeah. And then all of a sudden Trump says, let's not talk about that anymore. This is nothing but a Democrat fantasy. And now his family has shut up about the Epstein list.
Right.
And so it's like, can we really, let's just have some truth, have some real talk and transparency.
I think that's all anybody wants right now, Jay, is the truth. We're sick and tired of being lied to. This administration has lied about the Epstein. They've lied about Charlie Kirk. What happened to the Fort Knox gold? I mean, we can go right down the list. What happened to the day one promises? You know what I mean? What happened to getting rid of the FBI instead of dealing with people like Kash Patel? So again, people are tired of the lies. They're tired. This is supposed to be the most transparent administration in history, but yet we're being lied to over and over again.
Yes.
How much time do we have left?
We have 15 minutes.
Okay. So again, people are just fed up with being lied to. All we want is the truth. Mm-hmm. That's all anybody wants right now is the truth. Whether it's biblically, spiritually, politically, it doesn't matter. All we want is the truth. That's all people are looking for. And I think you would wake people up a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier by giving them the truth instead of playing some stupid psyop. That's just my opinion.
I don't want somebody to pick. to cherry pick lies to me so small and meticulous to the point where you're telling me what the prices of eggs are when I see it every day.
Right.
Okay?
I'm the one that has to go out to the store and actually physically pull it off the shelf and physically pay for it. I don't have my stuff bought for me or sent to me.
No. And you're willing to lie to me about that? That's what makes me upset.
Right.
The most, actually. Right. So let's go ahead and move off that subject. Let's go ahead and get on to some of these other things that have been popping up around America, Mark. And one of the stories that we've got here is about the airplane crashes. And I actually had some people ask me what the spiritual significance of these airplane crashes were, and I told them that we'd bring them up on our broadcast today. So I've got two little articles that we'll bring up. I'm sorry, two videos that will show of the same crash. One's from two different perspectives. So we'll go ahead and play those, and then I'll get your opinion on that, Mark.
Right.
Okay. Go.
Okay, just hold on. Setting the data. Said it was something that was above the building.
Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to show you guys the actual crash itself. And it's right down here. Here we go.
Right there.
Wow. Tires.
Yeah, let that play again. Hit it again because it kind of stalled.
Yep. Let's go ahead. Notice it also hits the power lines too.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I know people have been asking. We've been having a lot since Trump came into office. A lot of plane crashes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a coincidence either, I believe. Let me read prophetically what planes represent. All right. Planes represent spiritual heights, able to go to heights in the spirit. They represent a church, a ministry, corporation, or a movement. The larger, the greater the impact. It can be referring to influencing people in the spiritual arena. Now, these jets that have been going down, I believe represent, a lot of these represent literally a large, it could be large group as well. I believe that these things that are going down are these ministries. I think it's churches. I think it's just more of the same. However, this one was a UPS cargo plane. And cargo, in other words, taking cargo to those who need it. In other words, taking the message to those who need it. So whatever this represents, as soon as it takes off, that's the end of it for the most part. So I think we're having so many of these things right now because I think it represents, a lot of this represents, could be corporations in the spirit, could be, and again, churches are corporations, guys. Remember that. 98% of our churches are corporations, pretty much almost 100% of our corporations. 98% of them are probably 501c3s. So again, I think these all represent that this is judgment coming right here. And there's going to be casualties, just like we talked about with the semis, Jay. They're transporting cargo. They were meant to take stuff to the marketplace, the gospel to the marketplace, but because they're not carrying the rock, if you will, they're carrying other cargo. That the end result is going to be what we showed, a few shows ago. Running off the road, they're going to be used as weapons. They're going to be transporting. They've gone from cargo units to transporting kids now in semis. The semis will be used as weapons, driving through crowds, driving through traffic, all of these things. So I think this just goes along more with the semis. This goes along more with the churches that are under judgment, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate your interpretation on that because I know I've gotten a lot of people who were asking me about that, so I wanted to get your opinion on it. I appreciate that. I wanted to get your take also on this video that was sent to me, actually by my wife, and it's about this pastor who just I'll let the video speak for itself, but it's absolutely disgusting. Let's go ahead and show this, man. All right, here we go.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Play that one more time.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity.
Grab your AR and get in, soldier. I need you to sight in your weapon. No noise, no wasted ammo. You've got 10 seconds. Move.
With the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Disgusting.
Sweetheart, you need to do yourself a favor. Take that check back from him and rip it up. And don't walk, run.
Yeah. Yep.
Every single person in this congregation just needs to walk out. Bankrupt him.
Let me show you.
Bankrupt him.
Look at this right here. Look at how many people with checks in their hand. You see them? One check, two check.
This is what's called, look, this is a pyramid scheme. I've been saying this for years. This is what the churches do. The upper echelon. Look, if I was to take Joel Osteen or Kenneth Copeland's people and say, everyone in this congregation who's debt-free, raise your hand. How many would raise their hand? 1%? But I guarantee you take the upper echelon of that ministry, and they're probably multimillionaires, because that's how a pyramid scheme works. All these people in the upper echelon are going to be the ones who are out of debt, but yet the congregation's broke, sick, tired, tore up, broke down. Again, they can't even afford a turkey dinner at Walmart. You know what I mean? So this is the kind of garbage right here that we're telling people to run from right here. This, to me, right here, this is a scam. This guy needs to be put in jail. But you think they're going to arrest this guy? No. Because this is like Paula White. This is what she does.
What message? Now, this is the biggest thing that hits me. What message does it? You see this young man right here next to this?
That's right,
lady.
That's
what
right.
kind of message did that just send to that young man?
That's right.
Whereas
That's right.
The most impressionable.
Yep, you just embarrassed that kid. You just embarrassed the mama. And what the mama needs to do is take that kid and march out of that church and never go back.
Well, not just the kid. This is he is being an example of what you're supposed to be as a godly figure.
Yeah, look at that ring he's got on right there in the picture where your pointer's at.
Huge.
Look at that ring.
Bigger than that kid's nose.
Give me a break.
Yeah. Look at that.
This stuff is out of control, man. I mean, out of control. This right here is what I believe that cargo plane represents right there. They're supposed to be delivering the gospel to the world and have a huge impact. But before some of these ministries ever even they just get off the ground, that's going to be it.
Yeah.
So
that's ridiculous, Mark. That's just the state of where we're at, man.
It is the spiritual and moral rot that we have in society right now and in the church.
Yep. Here's another church. Another church posturing here, going after the Trump. Oh, why is this still up? Going after the Trump administration, and for their own sick game. But it's the Pope Leo demands deep reflection on Trump deportation policy, and he also rebukes the strikes against. Look at this. He rebukes the strikes against Venezuelan drug vessels.
Right.
What?
Yeah. See, this is the liberal side of the churches. This is the deep state church. This is, I mean, this is the church cartel. These guys are literally part of the deep state.
Yeah.
All these pastors. Because again, you want to talk about Trump's deportation policy, but yet you got walls around the Vatican. You tear those walls down around the Vatican, then you can talk. Until then, I don't want to hear anything from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, it's the Pope. He's extremely liberal, obviously, and so because quite frankly, the Americans think that the president is not tough enough on the deportations right now, like we've been talking about. And he's complaining of what little bit they've gotten out of here, which is 500,000, 150,000 to 500,000 is the real number. The other 1.5 deported themselves. But again, it's not tough enough.
No.
So tear down your walls, and then you can talk. Until then, I don't want to hear anything from this guy.
Hear that. All right, Mark, is there anything else you want to go over before we head out?
No, I just, look, guys, again, pray for the president. I say this every time like a broken record right now because, again, this is like Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, who did he have on his administration? Sorcerers, magicians, all kinds of stuff. And so what do we have on here? We have Hindus, we have homosexuals, we have Satanists, we have wizards. So, I mean, you cannot build the people's house on sand and expect it to stand. It has to be built on the rock. And unfortunately, he's surrounded himself with people, gatekeepers, who don't want that truth getting to him. So all these points we're giving people are warfare points. Everybody asks, well, I don't know what to pray for. What are we supposed to do? You guys just present a problem. I get that all the time. You guys present a problem, no solution. We're giving you the solution. We're telling you what to go after right here on this show. Everything we've put in this show are points for you to go after spiritually.
And then there's something to also be said about your spoken word. And share truths with your family and your friends. People who you think might actually be able. I mean, your voice can echo.
Your voice is a weapon.
Your voice can echo to not just you and what you can do, but you can even speak truth about what's going on in this administration to your friends and your family. I mean, can't we all just at least agree that nothing, at least if nothing else we can agree on, at least agree that the prices aren't going down, and tell that to your family and say, you know what? Trump isn't listening to the American people. He's listening to Walmart. He's listening to big businesses, corporations.
He's listening to Susie Wiles. He's listening to advisors who don't have a clue what's going on down here on the street. And, I wrote something down the other day. I'll say it on here. Your voice should be a storm. You should be the storm. Use your social media. Email the White House. Phone the White House. Somebody find out if the phones are actually working. If they're not being answered, somebody needs to question are they shut down because the government shut down. That has nothing to do with Republicans. That has to do with Democrats.
It's not shut down. The White House on X. You can go. You can tag them. Your social media. Go on Truth
Dan
Social.
Scavino.
Donald Trump just released this truth this morning. I've only seen a few comments actually calling him out underneath there, saying, "Mr. Trump, this isn't true. Prices are greater than they've ever been."
Right.
It's only a few people were willing to be bold enough to say that on his.
Right. Everybody's scared to say something.
Go underneath there and say something. Just do it. Let it be true. Be truthful and say, with all due respect, Mr. President, this statement is not true, and I would advise you to stop listening to Walmart. It's a beautiful thing.
Tag the president. Tag the White House, tag Dan Scavino, that's his right-hand man, tag all these people, and voice your concerns, guys. That's the only way we're going to get through this. Your voice should be a storm.
Dan Scavino just got was a promotion to almost like being chief of staff, pretty close to it. I mean,
what happened to Susie Wiles?
Well, she's still there. What I'm saying is he's a little bit above her, I think, now. So he got a promotion, I think. You guys can write in the comments where he got promoted. I can't remember what he got promoted to, but go ahead and put it in the comments where what he got promoted to, so I can get a recollection. But anyway, God bless you guys. God bless you, Mark. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you. God bless your families. Thank you for being part of another episode of Assemble the